we actually like went and did perfume making the other day, thinking like, okay, we'll find, it's probably gonna be all girls, but we'll find someone. Oh no, there were two other people there. They didn't want to talk to us. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess we'll just make this perfume. It's not like we really wanted to. We didn't care. Oh my god. Honestly, figuring out these microphones and cameras and lights is just going to be the death of me. I'm just so. And my phone. Look at me. Look at me. I'm like one of those people in the theater. After they tell you to like turn everything off, I'm the person whose phone is still going off. God. You know what? I do love making content. I love writing. I love talking and doing these little kind of talky, what is this called? Like podcasty presentation-y thing. In the process of getting my writing out there as well, because I enjoy talking about writing before writing. But you know what? This technology is going to be the death of me. I've watched so many YouTube videos in order to like figure out how to make a YouTube video. And I don't even care about algorithm stuff. I'm just like, no, technically, how do I make it? How do I do this? Like, what does 4K mean? What? What is 60 frames per second? I don't understand. Like, come on. It is not easy. I admire anyone who makes like the simplest video, and especially if they have an external mic. Like, really. Please, for the love of God, like have a good mic. This is not even a good one. Honestly, it just is not my computer mic or my webcam mic. So there you go. Okay. This one took a little while. But I want to try and get something out there before dinner. My husband's at the gym, thank God, giving me a little moment to myself. And I've done a lot of work today, but I wanted to get a little video out of the way, especially because this is about another topic that's top of mind for me. And I've been thinking about it so much in the last few years, especially in the last year, because I'm in a situation that I've never been in before. We are lonely and we really don't have any friends. Our only friends right now are retired people in their 70s, 80s. I think maybe the youngest is in their like late 60s. But no, we're really struggling. We're truly struggling, and I don't know why this is. I've never been in this situation before. I we've always lived in big cities, cities where it's the norm is to be out and about and meeting people. You can easily go out on your own and just start talking to someone, and who knows, they could be your friend. Um, I'm from New York, and I lived there a handful of years before going to Colombia, to Bogota. So my husband's from Bogota. No, he's not from Bogota. He's from a small town in Colombia, but he lived in Bogota for years and years and years, and that's where he lived when I met him. We met in New York. So we're used to that. I'm used to all of the socializing that New York has to offer. He's used to all the socializing that Colombia has to offer. I had an amazing friendship group in New York that came from school and work. I had then another one in Colombia that came from work, and then of course his group of friends and his family. So that was amazing. And then when I lived in San Antonio, Texas, went there for work. Great friends through that job. It's too bad the job was so awful because the friends were amazing. Um, and then we live here. We're in the DFW area, the Metroplex. You'd think Metroplex would mean that there are plenty of people to go around, but there aren't. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I had to pause because I was hearing all of these thumps. I thought it was somebody at the door. Mm, but no, I look out the keyhole. Our neighbors are moving. Guess what? Our neighbors are people who are our age. They were potential friends and now they're leaving. I just can't believe this. It's insane. Okay, so basically, long story short, I've never not had a great group of friends. And I've been really blessed by that. And I never appreciated it because you don't know what you've got till it's gone, for real. So now we're up here in the DFW Metroplex for work. My husband's job brought us up here. And oh, we did long distance for a year and a half, by the way, but that's another story. Um, and we are just finding it impossible to find anybody our age to be friends with. We, the only people kind of in our age group and younger that we have found have been my husband's colleagues at work. Cute people, but they're just kind of like engineering, scientist, chemist nerds. And they just don't seem to want to hang out that much. They kind of go home and like play video games and just hang out on their own, or they have big families here, or they live really far away. So the concept of like going out for post work drinks, like Friday afternoon, roll out of work, go to the bar, have a nice little happy hour, go home, just like a nice way to roll into the weekend, that doesn't seem to exist here, at least not for us. Whenever my husband suggests it, I was like, just ask them to go out for drinks. Half of them are like, no, we have to drive home now because it's like a 2 hour drive or something. Everyone drives a million miles here. And, they have families waiting for them at home, so they need to get home and they're tired. Or if they just have like weird excuses. And I mean, yes, okay, fine. You could say like, it must be you. Maybe they're just making excuses because they don't like you. I mean, okay, maybe, but no, it's not true. People love us. They really, really do. Okay, we've always been successful and nothing drastic has changed. I really don't think it's us. So, yeah, we just, it hasn't really worked with them. Um, we had our landlords. They are still our friends. They are in their late 70s, sweetest old couple. Great to hang out with. We love them so much. We will be friends with them forever, I think. Um, and that's great. But everyone else that we seem to meet is that same age group, and I am so exhausted of hearing their stories. And I love a good story, but the stories I've heard are just, it just goes on and on. It's relentless. It's relentless, and um there's doesn't seem to be much dialogue. It's all talking at you. And that gets wearying. And they'll never ask me about myself. They'll just talk about themselves and their diabetes, their inevitable diabetes, issues with heart, issues, going in for that cataract surgery, which, so I feel like I know so much about that age group and I'm getting a little paranoid thinking about what that's going to be like. But then also there's such a disconnect between their world experience and our world experience. At a certain point I start getting a bit resentful and I'm like, shut up. Like, I am so tired of hearing about how your house was $1 back in the 1950s and 60s. And now, oh, you're perfectly well off for the rest of your life because you sold it for $2 million. Oh my God. And here I am, like, struggling to pay the rent every month in an apartment. Um, questioning whether I can have kids because they're expensive. So it's just the difference between our outlooks and our experiences are insane. You can't even tell them like, "Oh, I'm looking for a job," because they won't know what that means. I know there are so many memes out there and so many jokes about boomers. Yes, because these are boomers, like the older boomers, about how much they don't understand what it means to work now. But yeah, it's very hard. And so I feel like everywhere we walk in, there's just a sea of white heads ready to like talk at me. Um, and it's very disappointing because I am an expert at like taking advantage of the social opportunities a city has to offer. I grew up with a father who was absolutely insanely obsessed with all the like free stuff that you could do in the city. So I grew up in San Diego, and I swear to God, I felt like almost every night of the week we were doing some sort of activity that actually put my parents in situations where they made friends. Yeah, sure, my dad went to work. My mom actually was a stay-at-home mom. Again, for another story. But they we were so social. We were always out going like stargazing, doing some sort of like event at the beach, going to like an event at the science museum, art classes, theater. Oh my God, it was endless, constantly, constantly. And so I know what it means to be out and about in a city. I don't just sit at home, twiddling my thumbs. Oh no, oh no, I know how to do all that. So we've done everything here. We've gone to the sculpture garden for like this monthly event. We've gone to music in the park. We've gone to cooking classes. I mean, you name it, we've done it. I've even looked at meetups to find like, oh my gosh, what is it? Let me look this up. This is what it's called. It's called Time Left. Dinner with strangers. Every Wednesday, strangers meet for dinner. Book your seat now and meet 5 strangers over dinner, all matched by your personality algorithm. So, in a way, I feel like this is amazing. This looks so fun. How does it work? It's dining made effortless. We plan everything, just show up. Okay, that could be really, really fun. But then, of course, I'd be going with my husband. So I'm like, well, do we just come in as a package and we hope that like this single guy and the single girl want to talk to us? I don't know. Is it even here? Yes, it's in Dallas. Oh, Oklahoma City. Interesting. But I'm just like, I can't imagine it working well here because I feel like people are in their little shells and communities and groups, cliques that you just can't seem to break into. So, like I said, I'm really learning for the first time that just because you go out and do these activities doesn't mean that you're going to talk to people. We actually like went and did perfume making the other day thinking like, okay, we'll find it's probably going to be all girls, but we'll find someone. Oh no. There were 2 other people there. They didn't want to talk to us. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess we'll just make this perfume. It's not like we really wanted to. We didn't care. So yeah, I mean, basically we have done a lot to try and make friends, and everywhere we go, we're just met with the retirement community because apparently they're the only ones who have time to have fun. And I guess it makes sense. Like the people our age are at home with their families, or they've grown up here and they have friends, or they probably go to church. But we don't have kids, so we don't have an automatic friendship group that's formed around the families of the friends of our kids. And we're not religious, so I'm not about to go to church. And I mean, we could. We could. We actually tried the Unitarian Universalist Church because I'm like, well, it's a bit non-religious. Why not? Maybe we can make friends there. Because what's the point of church anyway, other than community, really? Community around something you believe. Again, just filled with retired people who talk about the same stuff all the time. So again, it's like talking about their blood sugar, their heart murmur, their diabetes. I'm just like, I can't. I just can't. I'm so sorry. I so resent them at a certain point about like the the way this world has like the blah, 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 blah. I resent them. Okay, I resent them, and I'm tired of listening to their stories. But yeah, it's really really hard to find friends. So we have managed to find 2 couples that we thought were going to be friends. And here's what happened. Basically, one of them was an older couple, slightly older, like in their 40s, later 40s. Where I'm about to be 40, my husband's 40, 41. I don't know, 41. These were in their late 40s, maybe early 50s. Very cool, cute couple. We met them at a bar, chatting. Everything seems great. And we're just like, yeah, this is great. Of course. Wow, great. We both get along with both of them. Amazing. Um, no, 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 no. It turned out that they were swingers and they just wanted to have sex with us, which, I mean, at a certain level, it's like, great. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we're hot enough to want for you to want to do that with us. I love it. Amazing. But but no, like we just really, really like wanted to be friends. We kind of we didn't really need any like interesting experiences like that. We're just not really up for it at the moment. So I'm like, okay, well, no, no, thank you. Please, please never call us. Then the other couple, they were younger than us. We met them at a cooking class. They were so sweet, great vibes again. We were chatting throughout, helping each other, make the like salmon something and the lobster bisque and the salad and whatever, and drinking. I mean, those cooking classes are amazing. And everything seemed great. We exchanged numbers at the end. Actually, I was very proud of my husband because he is a shy one. He's a little shy bunny sometimes, and I was just so proud of him because he actually asked them if we could exchange numbers, which takes a lot of guts. Not only in a new culture, but a different language. So super, super happy that he made that move. We exchanged numbers. We were all excited about it. Um, I ended up being in contact with the wife, and then I noticed like she kept asking me strange questions about finances and the future. And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like I know this person well enough to talk to them about this. And then she gave me a call one day and started asking me, you know, if I was interested in some extra work, if I wanted to supplement my income, maybe have more multiple lines of income. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, I'm always interested in money. Who isn't? Of course. But then she goes on, and I'm like, well, what is this company? What is the opportunity? Oh, well, that's exactly what it is. It's an opportunity, but she's like, hey, how about you tell your husband about it? And if he's interested in learning more about it, because I think it would be great for both of you, we can all meet up and talk. Like, this sounds fishy, and you probably know where I'm going with this. I mean, if you know anything, you're like, ooh, red flag, red flag. So, of course, my husband was not interested. I knew he wouldn't be. I didn't even ask him because, of course, he'd be like, what the hell? But I call her back. I'm like, yeah, we're interested. Fine. Okay. Um, and then she was like, well, you know what? My husband's actually here at the moment. I think he wants to talk to you about the opportunity more. He gets on the phone. It's a what is it? Not a group call. She put him on speakerphone, and he is going on and on and on, pitching something to me, talking, and saying nothing, nothing. I'm like, I still don't know where this is, what it is, who's in it, when it happens, and how I fit into it. Okay, that's five. Those are the five interrogative pronouns. And I'm just like, what? And why can't you answer my question? And they're so vague, so vague. And so I'm like, everything they were saying sounded like an MLM. I don't even remember the name of the MLM, multi-level marketing company, basically a commercial cult. Um, I'm like, if you can't tell me the basics of what this job is, let alone the name, then no, it's not a job. I'm sorry. Please don't get me involved in this. And it was just so gross and disgusting because I just felt like they were preying on us. That I was like, no, no, thank you. We're not interested in meeting for coffee to learn more about this great opportunity that we'd be getting in on the ground level with. No, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, we lost them. Not like we ever had them as friends, but yeah, it was an opportunity, but we did not get in on that. So yeah, those were our two experiences with friends our age here, couples. And yeah, that's the other thing. Like, as a couple, you kind of want to, like, we're great at making friends separately and then kind of coming together because often his friends, it's nice. They're fine. He likes my friends well enough. We can all go out. But I'm just like, these experiences have been just too weird, just way too weird and uncomfortable. And we're at a point where we're desperate. And I'm also like, wow, do we need to consider like having a kid or at least getting a pet so that like people at the dog park will have like a reason to go to the dog park and people will talk to us? It's so sad. It's so desperate. I realized I wanted to say one other thing about friendship, and some of it is very cultural because I remember in Colombia, um, my husband really didn't have any friends, new friends, for a while. The concept of making new friends was a little strange. Most of the people I met there, Colombians, were friends with their family members. Families are very, very close. Some people call it community, I call it tribal. And they would have their friends from either grade school or colegio, which is like high school, and or university, and that's it. Like the concept of having people that you work with, yeah, it doesn't mean you're friends. Um, and you're not just going to go out to make friends. The idea of like purposefully going out to meet new people at a certain age, it's like it's just not done because your life is full enough as it is. And I guess that makes sense everywhere. Like you've got your job, you've got your, your responsibilities, you've got your family. You really don't have time for anything else. And so in a way, like I get it. It's true there, and some of it is cultural as well, because the the concept of trusting strangers or new people is, really not a huge part of the culture. I think because of the civil strife that's gone on there and the insecurity and unrest for so many decades. And so, yeah, like it would make sense that this like natural sense of distrust is baked in. So you wouldn't just like go out and be like okay with people. I mean, but the same thing is here. Like I guess the country's just bigger. And so, you don't think about all the crazy freaks you might happen to like come across and think they could be friends, and you just hope you don't actually encounter someone who's maybe dangerous for you. But yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. But yeah, the concept of like going out and making friends as an adult, whether it's having to do with work or something else, but just going out and making friends with for no reason, it's like, what? Like, as a couple, like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're out, let's say at one of those like sculpture garden evenings, the monthly thing, and we just walk up to a person or another couple and we're like, hey, hi, do you want to hang out? Do you want to be our friend? Do you want to get a drink? Or even like more naturally but also awkward, as like, oh, what do you think about this sculpture? I really like this sculpture. What do you think? Do you want, let's walk through the sculpture garden together. Like, no, it's so awkward trying to make friends. Like, you have to have an excuse for why you're talking to the person. And I get it, and I don't want to be in that situation. Oh, so weird, so awkward. Um, so it's very hard. Like, what do you do? Just like reach out, like just kind of like a cold call? No. Oh my God. But yeah, that's where we are, trying to make friends as adults in the 21st century in a city like Dallas where everyone drives and no one walks, and there's nowhere you're going to just bump into anyone. And now we're just kind of jaded and on guard. And now I'm very nervous about people coming up to talk to me because I think that they're going to ask me to be in a cult or something like that. So there you are. That is my story about friendship. I will keep you updated on whether we find friends or not. But at this point, I think the only answer is to maybe move somewhere. Um, So yeah. So for now, thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Remember, everything I've just told you is my experience and my opinion. So I'm not trying to get you to do anything or believe anything. Just listen and have fun. And maybe you'll learn something. So yeah, see you in the next one.